Beast is cleaning the mess. Why I'm saying Beast? Noor is a hardworking guy, but for now, he's on a mission. A mission to cleanse up the mess. His mission is to clean up the dungeon. After cleaning the dungeon, he was just talking to the head when he saw a light coming from a dungeon. He got a bit suspicious. Then he heard something that no one else did. A girl screaming for help. He ran towards the dungeon immediately and he saw a girl trapped with magic. Soldier protecting her. He saw a big magical bull, which was not normal. But Noor thought it was just an ordinary bull. Then a district quickly took us to the flashback where Noor used to live. He was an ordinary kid. He was kind and genuine. He used to help his mother. His mother was sick or cursed, dying. For her son was everything. One night he was bringing soup for his mother and saw that she was no more. He was all alone now, with no dad and mom. Noor was still a hardworking guy. He did everything by himself, alone. One day, he accidentally found out a book from which his daddy used to tell stories. Stories about adventurers who slayed a gigantic dragon, proved the curse upon the forest, and even got a magic elixir from the king of death. He was inspired by that story, and now he knew what to do. He was leaving the town for the first time ever, saying goodbye to his dead mom and dad, to become an adventurous. His journey begins. It was tough for him, but somehow he made it to the city of adventurous. As he went inside, he saw many things that he had never seen in his entire life. He went directly to the guild, but the guild master immediately refused him by looking at his age. But he wanted what he wanted. The guild master said, "Your parents might be worried." But Noor replied, "They're dead." The guild master showed him a pity and said, "You should take training first." So he went to train himself with the guild trainers. He started training, but he had no skill. Everyone was unlocking their skill one by one. But the only one left was Noor. He kept working hard and kept pushing. The trainer asked him to try something else. So he went to a different training, but the same result there. The guild master rejected him. Same with the archery, thief, and magician classes. The destiny had something else set for him. And the guild master also rejected him as an adventurer. Noor went home upset, but would he give up only because he didn't have talent? Hell no. He was going to train himself harder. With that mindset, he made himself something more than a beast. He started training solo, training over and over, and for years, he just trained and trained. Yet, he haven't acquired any skill. He just keep parrying, breaking swords. And the day came, he got stronger, but still, no worthy skill. But he wasn't about to give up. He went again, one last try, and registered again. But the skill was not worthy. Even the girl suggested to take him a training introduction, but Noor had already done it. He was about to give up. Then the Oregon master came. He didn't recognize Noor as of at the first time, because our boy was so gigantic and strong. It took some time, but he remembered him. He explained to him, "Without any skills, you cannot register." He started explaining the rank first. There is S rank, one of the strongest rank. Then there is other rank, but E rank is the lowest. He peacefully roasted our guy. He's not even worthy of E rank. But there is one more rank, that lowest of all. Not even beggars accepted. It's F rank. F rank is the lowest of all. But Noor happily accepted it. Noor just had one dream, to become an adventurer. But it has some rules. It's just a cleaning the mess job. That's why he was cleaning the dungeons. Noor started his life as an adventurer. He was on his journey, maybe an F rank, but he was happy, cleaning the mess and dungeons. But one thing, he was extremely strong. Now we are back to the same dungeon we started from. Noor saw the biggest bull for the first time. Well, I bet everyone else was seeing it for the first time too. It was actually powered by the redstone, which you will know more about in the future. The bull started killing everyone, one by one. The girl who was trapped was no ordinary girl. She was a princess. They all died one by one. The only one left were Noor and the princess. Finally, Noor took an action. He had to protect. He distracted the bull by throwing stones. The bull started attacking Noor instead, but the bull underestimated him. They were evenly strong. This shows us how strong Noor is. The bull started attacking the girl instead. But our boy Noor protected her in time. The only problem was the sword was too weak. Noor just needed a slight opening to slaughter the bull. With his strength, he used the bull's own axe to parry and protect the princess. But in Noor's mind, he thinks he's weak. The princess was impressed, but Noor left like a legendary hero. After protecting the cheek, Noor was more focused on training hard. The bull caused quite a destruction. Everyone was cleaning up the mess. And the strange woman who was supposed to protect the princess comes running and said, "I'm sorry, my lady." But the princess politely said, "I'm okay, don't worry." Everyone was curious. Who was it that killed the mightiest bull? But they were confused too. They found a magic stone, which means someone was controlling the bull. Well, if you don't know what magic stone is, it is something that makes a beast 10 or even 100 times more powerful. But no normal person can control beast like that. Only demon folks can. Who are the demon folks? You will know soon. But the one who parried the mightiest beast in a single blow was still a mystery to them. Noor went to the guildmaster. The guildmaster was shocked that Noor survived. The news was all over the place. A beast had appeared where Noor was working at the construction site. The guildmaster was worried since Noor didn't came back that night. But the reason Noor didn't came was that someone was following him. He kept the chat, the guildmaster short. But then the strange person who was following him the night before appeared. Yes, it was none other than the princess. She wanted to meet the guy who protected her last night. They were getting attention because the girl was no ordinary girl. Even the guildmaster asked, "What did you do?" The princess borrowed him and asked him to come with her. They arrived at the castle. The princess was very grateful after all. A boy saved her. She invited him into the castle and told him he could wish for anything. But Noor didn't want anything. So he kept refusing. The princess was shocked and flattered. How can someone want nothing? So at least she invited him to the castle. Well, I guess no one could see them because of a spell. While walking, she asked Noor's name and Noor did the same. But the princess always overreacts. She said sorry for not introducing herself. But Noor cared less. He just didn't give a damn about the chick. Her protector showed up and asked, "Who is this man?" But Noor thought she was the maid. Just a little rich. Don't take the maid lightly, Noor. She's not weak. The maid was suspicious, and Noor knew that. Noor then saw another guy who looked like Monkey King. The monkey boy asked, "Who is he, and what is he doing here?" But the maid said, "He's the one from the last night." Still, Monkey Boy just underestimated him. Meanwhile, the king was in a meeting about how other king disrespected him and asked for the gold of the captain. Otherwise, he were destroyed. But the king refused. That means a war was about to begin. They finally arrived in front of the king. That guy was the princess's brother. They recognized Noor. But let me ask you guys this. Did you see it? The weapon. Ha, you know what I'm talking about. Noor apologized for showing up like this. He kept apologizing with such perfect words that impressed the king. The king gave his hand to shake. Noor said, "It's an honor." But the king always repays his gratitude. So he asked Noor, what he want. But Noor refused, which impressed the king even more. The king kept offering treasure from the dungeons. But Noor still refused, which was weird for the king. But the king has to repay him with something. So he went towards the sword. In the first episode, we saw a new sword broke due to his brutal strength. But this sword, it will never break. It looks frayed, but trust me, it won't even scratch. Everyone was against it, but the king knew Noor deserved it. The sword was heavy as hell. Only the king could hold it. But now Noor could too. The prince was shocked. How did he even pick up that sword? Even the king was. Look at the sword. Noor bravely accepted it. And with that, it was confirmed. He was the one who killed the big bull. Such raw power. The king was impressed. A commoner with so much strength. The king was flattered by him. But Noor is just weird. He decided to clean gutters with that sword. That teaches us, even we don't know how much we worth. Then another cheekman drops. Noor got tense, but she wanted to apologize. Royalties are always polite. She properly introduces herself. And Noor realized she wasn't a maid. She was the vice captain, also known as Divine Shield, which means she's the protector, even if it costs her life. She asked for Noor's name. As soon as she heard it, she realized something. And what did she realize? Maybe we'll know in the future episode. With that, Vice Captain made her leave. But there is one after one. Monkey Boy, Gilbert showed up. and asked for a manly duel. But Noor, he just wanted to go home. They were about to enter the arena. The monkey boy just wanted to spar. He also trained some students. He asked Noor to choose any weapon he wanted. The weapons were made out of wood. He chose a wooden sword. He usually used wooden sword to crane himself. And with that, the fight begins. Monkey boy attacked first, but Noor easily dodged it. To be honest, that was cool. Monkey boy started getting excited, but Noor was constantly dodging him effortlessly. Why is he so slow? Noor thought in his mind. Noor started thinking maybe Monkey Boy was holding back, so Noor called for a timeout. I would react the same. He said, "Thank you for taking it easy on me, but you don't have to hold back so much." Monkey Boy was surprised. How did Noor figure it out? He was holding back. Monkey Boy got into position again. But this time, he wasn't going to hold anything back. But our boy Noor was still dodging everything effortlessly. Nothing was working on him. He just had those damned reflexes. Noor said again, "You don't have to toy with me. You can go with your full power." But our boy Noor didn't know that was already his full power, which was humiliating for the monkey boy. The monkey boy decided to use his actual skill, one of his best moves. What a waste. Our boy dodged it easy peasy. Monkey boy was shocked. He was already on his knees. But before that, our boy gave up. Yeah, he gave up. He might have dodged it, but that attack was powerful. One fatal mistake, it would have torn through his throat. Noor walked away like a loser, but behind the house, he found out someone like a legendary fighter. Well, the story is our monkey boy is just like Noor, talentless. But he thought Noor dodged it because of some kind of talent. The story shifts into a monkey's boy past. He was talking to his instructor about how strong he was. And monkey boy was bored being strong until today. Sure, Noor broke the monkey boy's arrogancy and humiliated him unintentionally. Obviously, he's a good guy. Noor, on the other hand, was still thinking about how weak he was. How that attack could have torn his throat into pieces. But then, he started cleaning the mess with his sword. What a legendary loser. But at least he was happy. Everyone was appreciating him. After cleaning the gutters, he was looking at his sword. I wonder what he was thinking. Why would I even wonder? He'll use that sword for everything except real battles. Yes, in a pizza, in a grill, and that's how a middle-class boy thinks. He's just too innocent. Noor uses magic. You see, Noor can use mini magical abilities like tiny flame, physical enhancement, and stone too. But that tiny flame is not tiny. You'll see soon. He looked back, and the princess was still stalking him. He was surprised to see Lin. He tries to be polite with her, but Lin refused and say, "Just call me Lin." He asked, "What are you doing here?" The royalty apologized first and asked, "Am I bothering you?" It was sus to Noor. I would be sus too. What the hell does she want? Does she have a crush on him or something? He asked again, but Lin, just ask him to train her. Yeah, royalty asking to be an assistant of a commoner. Sounds weird, right? In case she wanted to learn something from Noor, she kept begging until he accepted. Then she decided to show Noor what she could do, and Noor was shocked seeing her abilities. That pre-cut was cool. Yeah. Who are you flexing to? Did that make Noor jealous? No, Noor just didn't feel worthy enough to teach her. But she still kept begging. So Noor decided to show her the dark truth. He showed her how bad he was in magic. But he also showed something that made the princess feel worthless in front of that commoner. The thing is, tiny flame is called tiny because it's supposed to be tiny. Even the master of magic take years of training to extend its range. Even princes and royalties can't make the tiny flame bigger. But Noor, he just show how talentless legendary he is. The princess felt worthless, but Noor didn't want it to show that. That there was too many misunderstandings. But the princess wasn't about to give up. On the other side, the prince was still thinking about the legend sword. And how they got it. And how the king put his faith in that man by lending it to him. Noor finally accepted her as his apprentice. While looking at the tasty meat, Noor asked his apprentice, "Is it okay for you to be here in public?" "Yes, it's totally fine," the princess replied, "because I am an adventurer." They decided to take an adventure on mission. They went to the guildmaster for a mission, but this time, thanks to the princess, they were assigned a goblin hunting job. That put Noor into a shock. He was still confirming it. "Are you really sure we can take on this job?" Noor headed out straight away, without even knowing where to go. The guildmaster gave them the details and the direction and officially assigned them to the job. He also told them to be careful. It was a forest of beasts. The guildmaster asked them to bring back a piece of ear or a tooth as a proof so they could get paid. And with that, they hit the road. Deep into the beast forest, the adventure begins. Noor asked what kind of creatures are goblin. Obviously, he has no clue. He was a jungle boy. He had only seen goat and sheep. You see, goblin don't hunt human usually. They rely on animals and hops. But their number was increasing very quickly, which could lead to a food shortage, and they'll prey on the humans later. That's why they should be killed. That's why adventurers kills. But not to the extinction. Just enough to maintain the ecological balance. Noor was impressed how knowledgeable his apprentice was. They were giving their all to find the goblins, but something was not right. They should have encountered at least few by now. Is something big coming? Princess immediately sensed something coming from the northwest. They started heading that way, but as they went deeper, it got darker and darker. The forest was too dense in this area. It blocked out the sun. The energy the princess has sensed suddenly vanished right in front of them. It was very sus. How could it just vanish? They were standing on the same exact spot where they had sensed the strange goblin energy, but they couldn't see anything. It didn't take long to realize something was wrong. They put up their guard. They saw something, a goblin, hiding, eating his own kind. It was a goblin powered by redstone, just like the bull. In this situation, Noor was thinking it's just a normal goblin. No, Noor, it's 1,000 times stronger than the normal goblin. Noor got tensed immediately. The goblin roared, and the princess freaked out. But Noor's words were, "You don't need to be frightened. We were only up against a goblin." That made the princess feel relieved and focused. Noor took the position, but it was not an ordinary goblin. It was a goblin emperor. Yes, like a boss goblin, considered an extreme threat. The Goblin Emperor is a beast created by genetic manipulation by mankind. 2. It's illegal. The princess thought Noor came here because you already know about it. She knew he was strong, but even he was seeing this thing for the first time. The Goblin King started moving towards them in full rage, but Noor defended him very well. He was just using his new sword for the first time to test it. The Goblin King tried to corner him. Lynn also joins the battle. She uses her magics to slow him down, but it wasn't working very well. The goblin was too fast for the princess, and even for our Noor. The Goblin King was throwing trees like toothpicks at Noor. Noor was parrying them to defend, but Lynn unexpectedly had a plan in the mind. She noticed that the goblin was healing very quickly, but how? Then her eyes caused the red stone stuck into the goblin's forehead. Lynn told Noor, "Remove that stone from the goblin's head. If it's gone, we can defeat him easily." But it's not as simple as it sounds. Lynn used her magic to block the trees, but the Goblin King quickly recovered from the attacks. If this keeps going, they will run out of stamina and magic. The Noor had an idea. It was risky. He told her, "Use the same spell on me." Yeah, even the princess was like, "Wait, what?" She asked again, "Are you sure? That's a very powerful magic spell." But Noor had a plan. He would take the impact on his sword. He said, "Go on." The princess used the spell and boosted Noor into the air. He used physical enhancement to strengthen himself. He was moving towards the goblin, dodging everything, and with that big jump, he swung his sword at the goblin's head. He created a huge impact on the stone and removed it. The goblin trembled in pain. After the stone was gone, Noor told Lynn, "Finish him off in one blow. Don't let him suffer." And Lynn did. Using her magic, the goblin turned into barbecue. With that, they had completed their mission. But Noor realized something. He felt so weak. He thought, I couldn't even take down a single goblin. But that was not a normal goblin. He figured he was just overconfident, and he had to do a lot more training before taking to the next mission. With that, they returned to the guild, but forgot the most important thing. The news was already off the royal cast. It was a goblin emperor, and the mana stone they recovered was far larger than normal. According to the report, the goblin they defeated was several times bigger and stronger than any recorded goblin. They were all stuck on the one question: who's doing this? It was a miracle they have survived. The prince was deep in thoughts. Back at the guild, they were smiling. They had done their job. But the guildmaster asked for the proof. A piece of ear. Yeah, they just set the goblin on the fire with the ear. Meanwhile, the prince was deep in thought. While reading a letter, he looked tensed. Something was wrong. He realized that they had already attacked the other kingdoms. That's why they were able to leave the goblin so deep in the forest. The prince immediately gave an order to search for an impostor around the kingdom. But in his mind, a question echoed. Why? Why go this far? After all, countless lives were at stake. On the other hand, the guildmaster showed pity and gave them $3 to celebrate the first mission. The princess decided to head back home. She wanted to check on few things. She was about to leave when her brother, Prince Rin, showed up. Her brother requested Noor to take his sister to Mon district, which was outside the town, tomorrow morning. Yes, something was sincere. Out of nowhere, a sudden request for his sister and Noor to leave the town. That could only mean one thing. He didn't want them to be there. Noor agreed to the mission. The next morning, they headed out. Noor was happy. He had never been on a carriage before. But on the other hand, Lynn was upset. Obviously, she was thinking, why are they leaving the town? Was this a trap? Her brother's request was weird after all. He just wanted them to go southwest, sit tight for a while, and wait for the signal before returning. Very strange. She was worried. But on the cart, there was one more person. Wise Captain. Her brother has planned everything. The town was about to go under attack. That's why he asked Wise Captain to go with Lady Lynn. She was the only one Prince could trust for the task. While talking to the Noor, the Wise Captain revealed herself. She said, I can protect you if something happens. I'm a shield. But dumb boy Noor said, You are a shield? Where is it? I can't see you carrying one. Wise Cap replied, I don't need to carry one. Which made our boy Noor confused. Well, at least everything seems well planned. But things won't always go the way it does seem. She showed a glimpse of her real shield. A shield so strong that weapons and magic could go through it. Our guy started realizing how weak he is. Well, he's not. But he was thinking that. Let's go to the past of our Wise Captain where she got her power. She has a special gift, outraging mana. This magic could annihilate the entire country. That's how she became a Vice Captain. Do you remember when she was shocked after Noor said his name the first time? It's because one day when she was on the battlefield and got attacked, her instructor protected her. There was a chaos everywhere, but her instructor, who she respected the most, said, At a time like this, I wish Noor was still around. That left us with so many questions. Why did he say that? Did something happen that you don't know yet? Let's see. But she had just one goal, to protect Lady Lynn with her very life. Noor saw something, a path in the field. Wise Cap asked, Sir Noor, is something wrong? Noor replied, I sensed something in the field. Lady Lynn stopped the cart instantly. Something was not right in the grass field. What was it? They saw a heavy black smoke. Lady Lynn uses uncover spell and saw the capital was already under attack. The king and prince has been waiting for this moment. The prince gave the order of evacuation and for the sword company to block the roads. But they were out of men. The king knew exactly who was it. There were so many beasts attacking the capital from the various locations. They had no choice but to fight. The war had begun. Their forces was not weak. But on the other side, this is where the story gets interesting. A boy with a big beast frog was walking in the field saying, I have to kill them all. But then lightning struck the shield It broke. The boy who was controlling the frog lost the control. He tried to gain it back, but it was too late. The frog immediately attacked him. The boy knew he was going to die. He accepted his fate, but Noor protected him. He started fighting the poison breath beast. But that boy was not an ordinary boy. He was a demon frog. Lynn remembered what her brother had said about the demon frog. They appear to be the same as human, but their abilities and the mana are 100 times more. Closer to a beast, same as evil, a dangerous species that can control beast. Long ago, there were many demon folk spreading evil, but then they were exterminated, but they were rumors that they're still around. If that's true, then they must be holding intense hatred against mankind. She realized that the boy was the one who manipulated the dragon. Wisecap explained how he lost control over the dragon. Well, has the truth. Wisecap was going to kill the boy and the dragon, but before he could, Noor jumped to protect the boy. That shocked Wisecap. She was thinking, foolish. I bet she's going to eat her words. Lady Lynn was about to enter the battlefield, but Cap stopped her. Even the demon boy was shocked. Why is someone protecting me? Noor was on hard defense. Then the dragon took a breath and attacked Noor. If Noor jumped out of the way, the boy would die. So he chose to parry. But the bread was poisonous. It affected Noor. He felt dizzy instantly, dripping with blue blood. Lady Lynn was worried, but Cap said, he's just going to die. His eyes started dripping with blue poisonous blood. He felt dizzy and felt unconscious. Now what will Noor do? Lady Lynn's trying to beg the permission. She wanted to help Noor, but the vice captain doesn't allow it. Her duty is to protect Lynn. She used her shield talent to defend her, while Noor is fighting the real battle against the poison. Lynn was worried, but Noor said, fuck fate. The dragon's horns come flying and struck the shield, which shocked the vice captain. She was like, that's impossible. But our beast Noor was still holding on, even in that condition. Who's Noor? Who is she? A better shield? But then Noor finally went down, covering a poison. Will he give up on the boy, the demon folk? I bet he's not alone. Out there, the demon folk were treated harshly. They were kept in jail, fed mortally food. The jailer used to beat the boy mercilessly just for looking at him. He was thrown and beaten up badly. Not only the jailer, but the people also cursed him. Threw stones at him. You see, demon folk can read minds. They hear what other things. One day the jailer gave the demon boy an opportunity, but it was just brainwashing. He said, you have the power to change your fate. Take this dragon and attack the capital. I'll give you the freedom and food, otherwise you will suffer till end. The boy was innocent. He just wanted some proper food. And with that, he went. But things changed along the way. Now he just wanted to die, until Noor protected him. Noor was poisoned and dying, but even then, he used low-hill magic to protect the demon folk. Without giving up, he kept fighting like a true warrior, but eventually he collapsed. That's when he remembered, when he was small, he got poisoned for the first time. He ate highly poisonous vegetable but somehow survived. He started researching and training, even while not fully healed. Eventually he got better. But look at his luck. He got bitten by very poisonous spike again. He went unconscious but again recovered instantly. He began to eat poisonous snakes and vegetables regularly. And slowly, he becomes immune. That's why Noor just doesn't give a damn about the poison. And with that, he got back up and started fighting. He parried again and again. The dragon started taking a deep breath for a massive attack. But Noor struck his sword into the dragon's throat before he could breathe out. Destroy it using the dragon's own weapon. Everyone was shocked. After all, it wasn't a normal dragon, but Noor was just thinking that the frog might taste good. He checked on the boy. Are you all right? The boy explained. He was the one who brought the dragon in the first place. That made Noor question. He's just a kid. Why would he do that? But the Noor was impressed. How could this little boy control that big dragon? Oh God, is Noor weaker than the kid too? Or maybe the dragon was just a kid's pet. Noor started apologizing. Sorry for killing your pet. I'll pay for it. But the demon boy said, you don't have to. Noor asked, how did you control this creature? That's incredible. The boy started crying. Noor places his hand on his head and smiled. Lin came running. Instructor, are you all right? Lin said, I must treat you immediately, but Noor wasn't even bleeding. But this wasn't ordinary poison. It was miasma, an extreme toxin. Lin was shocked. Noor took a direct hit and he didn't get affected. And the reason? He had a high level of resistance magic that even top-tier mages take years to master. But Noor simply said, why don't you take care of this kid first? Lin asked, is he a demon folk? Noor said, why don't we take him with us? But Vice Captain refused. We cannot take demon folk. Demon folks are very dangerous race. But then they realized he was bringing the dragons to the city. And with that, it uncovers the truth about what's going on. Beasts are attacking the capital. Then a big entry happened. Someone was standing in the field, looking powerful. He was here to kill the demon folk. After all, he messed up the delivery. Noor apologized on behalf of the boy. He thought the man came to take the boy back. But then the man attacked. Noor blocked in a blink, which shocked the blind man. He stepped back. The real battle starts here. What will happen? Who is that man? Why is he attacking Noor? Who's protecting the capital? And what are their intentions? We'll continue this in the part 2. Hit that subscribe button for part 2.